What I'm talking about almost every day, and we'll we'll do again today, is so important. I find this the most important, essential subject and practice to have these days. And that's why I keep talking about it. But I also notice that the more I talk about it, I speak from it from a deeper place every single time. So that's why I'm calling this YouTube today, this is important. This really is important. It will only be important to you if you resonate with it. Otherwise, just scroll on, because if it doesn't resonate, it's not important to you. But I know that so many of us light workers, this is our time. I cannot stress it enough. And it surprises me to say that, because I'm not somebody who, you know, goes and tells people things like that, but it is so strong. So I want to share a little bit about another group that I started, not an online one. It's just basically for my friends and my close friends who are also light workers, healers in their own right, whatever flavor we come in with. And we decided to come together because I invited them and talk about, well, how do we express ourselves as healers, light workers, teachers, guides, shamans, whatever the flavor is, during these times where this is our time, but not have to worry about the exchange of finances, where it's not like, I give you this and you give me that. It is the old paradigm. And yes, it's the only way we know how to do it. And we're all fumbling because we all still have, the bills to pay. So how do we do it? And at the same time, at least this circle of friends that I'm meeting with, we can all feel that there is something here that is coming in that is very, very different from how we have done it before until now, basically. And we can feel it, but we don't quite know what it is yet. So we share from this place of how we sense that we want it to be, right? This is how we long for it to be expressed. And it's very similar for all of us, but it's also a little different. And that's the beauty of it. It's not one way. It is each unique way as how our portal receives this, what it comes through, what shape, what flavor, what quality. And that is why we all need to really learn to tune in to our own direct experience once we become more free from the old paradigm where it looked this way, and then you have to do it this way. It doesn't resonate for many, many of us anymore. And yet we're still part of it, right? So that's why I invited this group. And I remember one said, I just don't want to receive money for what I do. I want to receive money because they love me. It's like, wow. I mean, what beauty, what courage, what amazingness to share that from such a true space. I can relate to that, and maybe you can too. So this is what I see happens. Like we're sharing here, and one friend shares this, and then everybody goes like, oh yeah, hadn't thought about that, or had not had the clarity to express that yet. But this is how we receive the energy and the information from this new energy, this higher vibration coming in. We feel like, gosh, I just don't want to do it that way anymore. I just want to receive, maybe not even money. I just want to receive things just from the flow. And it comes, of course, through other people's flow in the form of money, in the form of love, in the form of housing. Who knows? But it just happens not because I jump out of the flow and become the little one who does the transactions. Leaving the flow is like, okay, I have to go make money now. How am I going to do that? How much am I going to charge? How am I going to sell myself? It's just so old fashioned by now for most of us who are talking about this. And that's why we know there is a new way. So, as all of us in my circle are just tuning into that, and it's like, oh, yeah, God, that feels right. That feels much more true now than it did, even a month or a year or 10 years ago. This is what's here now. We don't know how it's going to be implemented. None of us do in my circle, but that's okay. We know something, and we can all tune into that, and then we can say, okay, that's lovely. And then what we can do then is, so we feel the longing. Let's just use that example to just receive because we're loved, and which is actually true, of course. So we're tuning into a truth that is not really manifested on this plane yet. But we are the ones who are going to bring that into manifestation because we're tuning into it, we're listening to it, we're opening ourselves up to it. And when we sit in a circle of, it can be 2, 5, 10, 100, we open up a bigger portal. And every time we've met in this little circle, we just feel that the portal is expanding. It just feels like we're tapping into this. And because we're really tuning in and listening, the portal feels like it's expanding, and more of this is coming in. And the more of it comes in, the more excited I get because it fills me up. And then I want to share it here so that maybe I can also put a seed into your consciousness where you may say, oh, I just want it to look this way, which may be very different from mine. And then I want to invite you to stay with how you long for it to show up, the exchange or the prosperity or the supply, our needs met. If it's not in that transactional mode, what could it look like? And you kind of have to switch off the old ways, right? And just like, okay, leave that to the side, feel what might come through me or would like to come through me. And then, of course, this will come and say, no, you can't do that. Da, 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 da. It's like, no, you go to the side for now. And I just want to find out how this new energy wants to show up. So that's what we do in this little circle. And I cannot tell you how nourishing and satisfying it is. And I've shared before that I have a monthly circle online now, every first Tuesday of the month. It's a little different, but it's actually not different. It's the same. It's just, it depends on what subject we talk about, because it really is all the same. It is, how do we bring in the divine energies into this place where we have cut those off? How can we start opening up to them again? And so I always want to invite you to go to my website, check out some of the things that I share there, and check out more of my YouTubes, or sign up and join the Tuesday once a month group where there's a little time for each to just share. And I tell you, we all learn from it. So why is this so important to me right now? For one reason. It is blasting me. It is just like here as the most important thing right now. There's nothing else in a way that matters. Many things matter, of course. The earth matters, health, all these things matter. But without this new energy, we will keep trying to fix and change and improve the old paradigm. And the old paradigm is on its way out. You can trust me on that, and you probably can feel it too. So trying to fix it, it's been tried for a long time, and it's been a total failure. So now we are going to raise the consciousness so that new ideas of higher frequencies can come through. So it's like we're going to build a whole new world. And we do that from within by listening to this. If you're not quite sure about what I mean by this, you may not feel it yet, or you may not be aware of it, or having given it value. So if you sense something that says, this doesn't work for me anymore, I just don't want to do this anymore, then please pay attention to that. That is the new that's moving through this and dissolving it, or trying to get through that. And we need to make ourselves available, because the old is the contractions that we have been living as if they're true. And now we need to open up for this to dissolve those old energies. So a whole new way of being is going to be available to all of us. And if we are the little first seeds to plant, and I know we're not, because there's many, many, many people who are working with this, thank God. But when it comes to you, when it comes to me in this case, I have no choice but to bring it out and to share it in whatever way I do that. And it's the same for you. When something comes through, don't just ignore it or hide it or don't talk about it. Find people who might resonate with that. And that's why you could join my group, but you can also start your own group. Or you can join other groups where there is a resonance from what you're feeling with these other people, and it just starts growing. There is a quote in the Bible, when two or more are gathered in my name, there I am. That has become so real to me, because are gathered in my name, that is this energy. And when more of us gather in that, it amplifies. So how do we bring it through? Something that we also talked about is that when we really live from this passion inside, from our deepest longing, all we're doing then, well, it's not all, it's the most important thing, is that we are staying in the flow and allowing the flow to show us, to flow us, to express us. So when we are there, we have a tendency to jump out and say, well, I need to make a transaction out of that, or how do I make money out of that? That's very nice and very ethereal, ephemeral, but what about my bills? Yeah, that's where we are still. We're not fully trusting this yet. So we're not ready to let go of everything yet. So we have to be, reasonable and not insult our own intelligence, because we know that would be stupid, right? So that's why by getting with other people, it strengthens our trust and our faith. And you can feel it. It's very tangible when that happens. It's like, oh, and then more synchronicities will come through. You might just meet somebody coincidentally and you have this conversation, and then you need to notice, like, oh, this is exactly what, let's say, Pernilla talked about, and I'm taking it in, and now suddenly I'm having this conversation with this person. It's like, oh, wow, that's amazing. Those are synchronicities, and we need to pay attention to them, because otherwise we'll do the old paradigm way and just like, oh, that's just a coincidence. Oh, that I can't do that. Nah. Don't do that anymore. Stay with this. Connect with other people, create your own little circle, join one. I don't care, but take this seriously. This is the most important thing that we can do as light workers. You may still have a job that is not very light. You may be totally, drowning in the old paradigm world with the job you have. But inside, you know something. You know that this is not right for you anymore. This doesn't fit you anymore. And that's where you go to like, well, what would fit me? What does sound more true to me? Then you are in touch with the new energies coming in. It is that simple. I know I'll probably repeat myself a lot because when you get this, it's just amazing and so simple. So pay attention to this part that says, I can't do that anymore. I'm done. I'm done. But then be done. Let yourself be done. Keep doing the job as long as you need to because of practical life, but do not dismiss the part that says, I'm done. And then let yourself switch over to the flow, what you do want, what you are longing for, what you are hoping for. You might hear somebody talk about something and you feel you all light up about it. Let yourself light up. Stay with that while you're doing your 8 to 4 job. It's fine. Don't worry about leaving yet. That's too soon. Let this come through. Let this show you the synchronicities, the opportunities, and then you might start considering switching over all the way, a little bit at a time. Follow this. Follow this. Let yourself be taken by this, and please pay attention to it. It really wants our attention now. This is what we came here for, my friends. And it is happening now. It's not too late. I feel a little late in the game in a way because I've been at this for so many years, but I've never felt it to this extent where I can say, this is the most important thing without any doubt, with full conviction. And that's the energy that's speaking. That is when Pernilla is not trying to doubt it or control it or hold it back. It's like, no, it's here now. Boom. And then stay with that. See what happens. Let me know. Okay, please comment below. Please sign up for the Tuesday monthly meeting. I'll put the link below. Please like, share with other Lightworker friends. Just make yourself available for this. This is what we came here for. You too.